rapper Mac Phipps is behind bars for killing a man. And witness for the prosecution, Nathaniel Tillison, played a big part in putting him there.
They had no evidence whatsoever suggesting Mac was a killer. All they had was the statements of some individuals alleging that Mac was the shooter.
But Mac's attorneys say the testimony of the star witness Tillison is false. And what's more, they claim the prosecution knew it was false all along.
Ultimately, what he testified under oath when he was perjuring himself, he said that he looked Mac right in the eye as Mac shot his cousin, Baron Victor Jr.
Despite those allegations, Nathaniel Tillison has never been charged with perjury. We tried repeatedly to reach Tillison for his response, but simply could not find him. In fact, neither can New Orleans attorney Buddy Spell, who revived Mac's case after meeting with journalist David Luer, who has followed the story for years. And the legal team met with Mac in prison too.
I was struck by his honesty and his whole demeanor, his character. He has the respect of everybody at the prison from the warden on down. There is not anybody who will say a bad word about Mac.
After taking a hard look at the evidence, the attorneys zeroed in on Nathaniel Tillison's eyewitness account that he saw Mac pull the trigger. And what they found, said Spell, could very well set Mac free at last.
The state was well aware that there was a witness willing to testify to the jury that Nate Tillison could not have seen what he swore he saw because he was in the parking lot at the time.
And that witness, named Jerry Price, a cousin of Tillison, gave a signed affidavit to Spell saying that he was with Tillison in the parking lot, nowhere near the shooting.
And it was buried because the government case would have fallen apart if Jerry Price had been allowed to come forward. What they did was lock him up in a jail out of town until after the trial was over.
And that, says Spell, is a major legal no-no.
I didn't make the rule. The Supreme Court of the United States made the rule. If you've got evidence which tends to show that the defendant did not commit the crime you are charging, you have to turn it over to defense counsel. And they didn't do it. In fact, they went out of their way to hide it. They cheated.
Based on the Jerry Price affidavit, Spell says he has made several appeals to the state parole board seeking clemency for Mac. And he says the government recently returned the application, calling it incomplete because it did not include Mac's prison conduct reports.
This guy who's been in prison nearly 17 years doesn't have a conduct report to send him. You've never heard of a guy that's been in prison this long and doesn't have a conduct problem. He's got nothing. He's got a clean record. He had a clean criminal record before.
And Crime Watch Daily also reached out to the DA's office. We asked about all the accusations of witness intimidation and the alleged withholding of the Jerry Price testimony, and we got a very short response. The DA's office wrote, there has been no new evidence presented to the court, and therefore no basis to question the decision of the jury.
Nobody from the DA's office reached out to any of these witnesses, so they dismissed all of this new evidence without even bothering to look into it.
His attorneys say it would be in violation of the Louisiana Department of Corrections for Mac to talk about the case, but we were able to ask him about his life behind bars.
Hi, Mac. It's Andrea with Crime Watch Daily. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Some people would be bitter, angry, have revenge in their heart. Everyone that I talk to about you says you don't.
I decided long ago that, you know what, I accepted the highs in this life. You know, I've traveled around the world, did a lot of things that a lot of people dream of doing. You know, so who am I to not accept the low? I mean, it is what it is.
Mac, tell us how old you are right now.
I'm 39.
What do you want to be doing at 40?
I want to be at home in the backyard, posting my son up under the goal and dunking on him, talking trash to him, and throwing the basketball in his chest. That's what I want to do.
Do you feel in your heart that that will happen?
Yeah.
Later, we met with Mac's #1 supporter on the outside, his only child and namesake, 16-year-old Mac Green, born while his dad was in prison. He visits often and looks forward to the day when there will be no bars between them.
Tell me about him.
He's very kind and he's loving. He's a person that sits and listen. You can talk to him. He funny, he'll crack jokes. He just a person that can make you smile. And when I'm with my dad, I be happy all the time. He was just telling me like, son, it's gonna be over soon. And I believe him. He coming home. He coming home.
And when it comes to fathers and sons and guys named Mac, we give the last word to Mac Sr., who wants to be sure his imprisoned son is clear on one thing.
He's a better person than I am. Far better person than me. I'm like a grown man breaking down like a little kid.
Oh, no. A real man, loving his son. That's what this is.
With me now to discuss how he plans to get Mac Phipps out of jail is his lawyer, Buddy Spell. Thanks for coming up from New Orleans. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.
Do you get him out of prison? Is that possible?
It's less of a legal issue now, Chris, than a political issue.
What is the most critical piece of evidence that's going to help you do that?
The most critical piece of evidence is Jerry Price. And Mr. Price would have put the lone eyewitness's testimony into jeopardy.
How is it possible that another man confessed to this crime, yet your client is still in prison?
I can't explain it to you, to be honest with you.
How is that possible?
It's a judicial system that failed thoroughly and completely in this particular matter. We are cautiously optimistic that he comes home for Christmas. We are confident that he's coming home soon.
Buddy Spell, thanks for coming up from the Big Easy. I appreciate it very much.